Right. Are we ready, everybody? Yep. Cool. Starting. Good evening. Hope you're doing well.
Now, twice a week. Aren't you the lucky ones? You're watching, downloading, and listening to the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and the live show for the As Yet Unnamed podcast. I hope you are doing very well, and thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday evening. Almost towards the end of October already. If you want to find out more about this podcast, then you know what to do. Go over to the website, the asyetUnnamedpodcast.uk, and we now have a brand new email address, asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com. That may come in useful later on, so keep watching and find out more about that. Right, let's say hello to Darren. Hello, Darren.
Hello, how are you? You all right?
I am very good, thank you. And Damien, hello.
Good evening. I say I've been on early. We're saying hello. It's good. It's great.
And now your internet is playing up like crazy. But anyway, we'll carry on. You keep freezing at the really inappropriate times. Is someone else on your internet, Damien, by the way?
No, not at all.
No?
Nobody. No.
No kids watching stuff or
No, all in
wife?
bed. All in
wife
bed.
watching stuff?
Wife definitely not. No, she just made me a brew.
Oh, okay.
She's not anywhere. No.
Okay,
Are we
excellent.
okay now? Or?
We will have to carry on, which might be great for our big news. Anyway, so let's say hello to some people that have said hello on the Facebook chat. David and Lynn Holland, thank you so much for listening. Anthony is there. Dunk is there as well. Colin is watching. All the usual great people are here watching us tonight, so thank you for that. If you are watching, and I know some of you are because I can see you, I can see how many people are watching, then leave us a message in the group chats or our face watch party thingies that we're all doing. So, are we all ready? Are we all excited for the big news that we are going to be announcing?
Huge news, like a very huge, thick, juicy sausage.
You give it such a big build-up all week this week, so even I'm excited.
And you know what it is.
Yes.
So yes, you may have got a clue if you were listening to the jingle at the start of the show. Let's just let this finish. There we go. So have a listen to this.
Now, twice a week. Aren't you the lucky ones? You're watching, downloading, and listening to the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
No way.
Oh,
I can't believe it.
Yes, indeed. So,
Double dose?
double dose of the As Yet Unnamed
I've had a
podcast.
double dose before. Awful.
You've had more than one double dose. I know that for certain.
Hey, steady.
So yeah.
Listen, because obviously I'm part of RADA, so with my RADA
No, you don't get any
contract-
extra payment. It's only one live record. It doesn't matter how many episodes are going out there. So basically, the news is that, and hopefully you're not disappointed by this. If you are a listener to the podcast, we are now going to do 2 shows a week. The idea behind this is that the Monday podcast that goes out, that you can download because you're all subscribed and listening every single week, will be the first half of this show. So it will be the news, the funny stories, the mystery voice, the funny clips, the having a laugh bit, the bit that's going to start your week in a nice, I'm really happy this is a good, funny show. So that's the plan for Monday. And then on Fridays, from next Friday, so a week on this Friday, we're going to be doing our ultimate top 5. So we are going to split the top 5 show into a separate show. And we're going to be doing it in a slightly different way. I know we've changed it last week, but we're trying to figure out which way to do it, and I think this is going to be good. So, on a Monday, it's going to be the fun, happy, joyous, laughing podcast that you know and love, and then on the Friday, it's going to be the fun, happy, interesting top 5 for what we go on. And this week's top 5, because we released just before Halloween, is all about Halloween or horror characters from TV and film. So that's the news. I hope you're not going to disappear with disappointment because, I like to big things up. And the other bit of news is that we're going to have some prizes for stuff. These are money can't buy prizes.
Is it a branded mug?
Not yet. It's a. They cost too much to post as well. It's going to be a badge.
Like a Blue Peter badge?
Like a Blue Peter badge. It's going to be an As Yet Unnamed podcast badge.
Because they don't actually exist, do they? Because I've never met anyone who's got one of those.
No, and they still, if you have got one, they still get you into museums for free. Anyway.
Apparently it's still one of Ian's favourite programmes, along with the Antiques Roadshow and the South Bank Show on channel...
Do you have a Blue Peter badge, any of you two? Or do you know anybody who's got one?
No.
It's like a blankety blank checkbook and pen. Did anybody actually receive one?
No. And there wasn't a proper checkbook.
I don't know what a checkbook is, to be honest. I mean, we've gone down this road before, but I still don't know.
And also the As Yet Unnamed podcast badge. Have you got one? Have you got one to show us?
No, not yet, because they haven't arrived. I ordered them on Monday. But you will have the chance to win a badge, and I will explain throughout the shows how you can possibly do that. So, should we get on with the recording? Actually, no, Darren, a bit of a live exclusive that we're just going to very quickly talk. What is today?
Well, this won't be on the actual finished edit, will it?
No,
Captain?
it won't.
But because this is date specific for today, so let's give you a little test demo. Ian already knows this, but what date is it today, and what's specific about the date? Not the year, but the date.
So, am I doing the date when people are listening to this, or the date when this was recorded?
Just today. This is exclusive, just for the live recording.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is just for the lovely people on Facebook Live. Okay.
Yes.
So today is the 21st of October.
Yes. Something specific about that date, not the year, the date.
Oh. Something to do with the moon, maybe? Stars?
Close, but not... he's close, isn't he, Captain?
So yeah, it's
the start of a new.
You have to
no.
You have to get in a car.
You have to get in a car to get to this date in this.
And you have to.
This is the date where basically they went back to the future.
Hey!
You're right. Yeah, you're right. 21st of October.
Hang on, Darren.
Yes. So on my breakfast show today, did I mention I do a...
Yes, carry on. Quick.
I don't really know. So you just went a bit Jonathan Ross there on my breakfast show.
Breakfast show.
On my breakfast show every day on 105.224444.
Yeah, on my breakfast show. I did this thing this morning where I asked the listeners, what year would you go back to if you could time travel? So, Damo, what year would you go back to if you could time travel? One specific year.
You know what? I would probably go back to the 60s because I just think the music and stuff like that. Do I need a decade or an actual year?
No, that'll do.
1966. So I'll be in Wembley Stadium.
I thought you were going to say 1969 then, just to be
steady. 1966 to watch the World Cup, I think.
Wow, Captain.
I would go back to the day of the moon landing, so I could watch it live and feel what it was like to watch it live.
Indeed, if they actually went there.
Oh, they did. We're not going to go down there.
Okay.
Right, so yes, happy Back to the Future Day. I'm going to cut you off, Dan, because we need to carry on. Thank you. It's not going in the main podcast, so it's fine. I'm just going to say a quick hello to Martin from who's listening at the moment, saying branded water bottle. Yes, it is. I might as well make use of it. So thank you for that. For those asking, there is my branded water bottle. So, shall we move on with the recording? Now, remember, people, this is the Monday show recording that we're going to be doing. So this is everything that will go out on a Monday on the now twice weekly As Yet Unnamed podcast. Are we?
Yeah, so we may be referring to Monday and saying, isn't it a great start to the week and all that sort of jibber jabber. So just go with it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is. It's all good. Right, so I'll be ready. This may take a couple of takes because I've got new talkover music and I've not quite figured out where it's best to talk yet. But we'll...
bit like your old radio show.
Yeah, then. Pretty much. So let's do this. Thank you very much for watching on the Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Enjoy the show. We will be back with you soon. But don't go away. Listen and enjoy, as you do. Leave a comment as we go along. Right, let's move on. This is the Monday episode of the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Now, twice a week, aren't you the lucky ones? You're watching, downloading and listening to the As Yet Unnamed podcast. It's Monday, you need cheering up. Well, you're listening to the right show. This is Three Men and a Microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Hello, welcome to Monday's As Yet Unnamed podcast. Thank you very much for downloading the episode of the As Yet Unnamed podcast. It is Monday morning. My name is Ian Barstow. We have Damien Lee. Hello, Damien.
I tell you what, I feel like I should be in like Def Leppard or Iron Maiden or maybe Metallica. Do you know what I feel today, boys? This morning, live on a Monday, I feel rock and roll, man.
Thank you. Darren, hello.
Yeah, I'm with Damien on that. I feel like the one-armed drummer from Def
Do we
Leppard.
like this talk over music, by the way?
Yeah.
I really like this talk over music. Right, so hello, welcome along to the podcast.
Morning.
Morning, and hello for a Monday. We will get to why we're saying Monday shortly. So if you want to get more information about the podcast, head over to the website, the asyetunnamedpodcast.uk. You can now email us, asyetunnamedpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at asyetunnamedpod and on Facebook, the As Yet Unnamed Podcast. So plenty of ways to get in contact with us. Now, we have some big news. If you've been a regular listener to this podcast, thank you very much. And you will know that we release every Monday. But from this week onwards, we are releasing twice a week. Dun-dun-dun. Hence the reason, new jingles, new music. So on a Monday, we're going to do the fun, start your week, make you laugh, give you some news, all that sort of stuff. We're going to give you all that on a Monday morning at 6 a.m. And then on a Friday, we're going to be releasing our top 5 podcast. So it is the ultimate top 5. If you've listened to the podcast, you'll know what our top 5s are like. But this is now the ultimate top 5. And I've got a feeling Damien has frozen again on our on the Zoom call because I'm going to keep this in.
Yeah.
So yeah, Damien is having issues with his broadband as we record this on a Wednesday night on Facebook Live, and now he's gone.
That's
Hey!
better. That's better. That was much better.
That was going oh so well on the record, and now our stream looks all weird. So I've got to go back to the old one. Wonderful. Oh no, he's back. Hello, Damien. Oh, this is going great. This is
Or did I just disappear?
No, I think you generally froze. This is funny.
It's where it comes up and it says your internet is very unstable. I feel unstable now, I tell you. Very unstable.
The wonders of
Wowzers.
broadband. So, yes. Thank you very much for downloading this episode of the podcast. I'm going to leave all that in. I don't care. So, coming up on Monday's episode, we're going to have our normal sort of stuff, the funny news and all that sort of bits. We've got our mystery voice. We are on now week 7 of that. And we're going to end with a happy news story to start your week in a good way. So, hopefully, Damien has got his news story and he's practiced better than he did last time. No, not really. I'm just going to share. Damien phoned me yesterday from his work. I was looking. Oh, it's Damien. Hello, I'll have a chat. Can't hear what they're saying on Teams. Sorry, what? I can't hear what they're saying on Teams. You're my IT person. Do you want to fix this? So yeah, basically he was having issues with his laptop. Did you get it sorted?
A very, very, very important call to a potentially new, very big client, and it was a Microsoft Teams call. Now they could see me, they couldn't hear me, so I couldn't hear them, and I could see them, but I couldn't hear them. Now it transpires they could see me, and they could hear me. They heard everything.
Did they really?
So in a nutshell,
Were you cussing? Were you cussing?
they heard myself and my admin manager, Kim, who's listening. Hi, Kim. Good to see you. She was trying to explain things on how to possibly get... She didn't have a clue. Nothing. At one point, she just stood there, looked at it. I was like, all right. Just looked at me. Bless her. So, no, they actually heard me going, it's a really important meeting. You need to get it working. So
Did they
I
hear
had to
me
follow
as
up-
well?
They heard you. Yeah, they heard the IT guy. And I went to the follow-up meeting today, and they said, from now on, Damien, I think it's best if we maybe just have face-to-face meetings or maybe over telephone. Do you know what they said in a really nice way? Nice try.
Nice try. That's proper.
I felt like they were going to pat me on the back.
And say, "Oh, bless."
So yeah, it was. They heard everything. They heard everything, and at one point he did. So he did find the funny side of it, but he said, "Oh, I tell you, you were getting a bit chopsy, weren't you?" And I was like, "Me, chopsy, never."
You were getting chopsy with me, and I'm not even employed by you.
I was like, Ian, Ian, I've really got to go now. Okay, sorry, I couldn't help. All right, gone. Nothing.
I came off the corner. I thought the moody little. I was trying to help him.
It was very embarrassing, but we've moved on. And I thank you very much, Ian, for the absolute shocking job of trying to help me. But you did try and help me.
Do you know?
David, go onto the circle at the top. I don't know that. Oh,
can I share? Can I share the fact that you are absolutely terrible at IT?
I am.
For a man of your age that's lived through the era of IT sort of just expanding everywhere, you are shockingly bad with your PC.
I run a company. I can't turn my computer on that easily. And to be honest, sometimes I struggle to turn my phone on. It's a struggle, but there you go. Happy Monday.
Anyway.
All right. Hold on. Before you go there, what's the size of your finger? You just went completely 3D. All I saw was like these massive things.
Anyway, and this is the point where Ian, in his clever captain host of the podcast, says, and we've got some clips from that actual mess that you made. Of that meeting.
I haven't actually. That would have been
that would have been
really well done,
great.
but no, I didn't. So I am going to play you a clip though, and this is I found this, and this about sums up pretty much how I think everybody feels when they wake up at the moment every single morning.
Fine.
I just saw
What?
100%. 100%. Don't really get that. Found that a bit disturbing.
It was.
Can you do it again, please?
It's someone going down. No, because if I need to explain it, it doesn't really work. So that's fine. I'll cut that bit out. Fair enough.
I would probably say on the scale, if we were doing this again, this is live. That was like my story last week. That just didn't work.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I looked at you, and did you see his little face? He was all excited. Okay, I'm just going to
and
play
then
the clip now. Are you ready?
What is that?
Oh dear. Oh dear. No, that's wrong. I don't like that.
Please explain that. What is it?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to at all.
Morning glory. Wow.
No, I've never whizzed it over the kitchen.
Saddle saw wasn't in it. It's propping up.
Quite hard.
Think hard for 10 seconds.
What we want to do is we want to sort of double the volume in size. You can experiment with going deeper.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you download this podcast every single week. People in the Philippines, in Australia and New Zealand download this to listen to a grown man go, brilliant.
I want to know where that is from. That is hilarious.
Sounds like the bird guy. Remember on Britain's Got Talent?
It's not.
I don't think it was, though.
No, it
sounds like your grandma with no teeth coming to give you a kiss.
Oh, my days.
That sounds even worse. That just. Oh, bloody hell. Right.
So what's coming up on the show?
Anyway, I've already done that. But anyway, right, coming up on the show, I'm going to start our news with a bit of disgusting news, actually. And this is one of those surveys. And you know what those surveys are like. A company does a survey to release a press release to get a bit of publicity for whatever it is they're trying to sell. And everybody falls for it every single time. So this particular survey was about how often people change their bed sheets. now. How often do you change your bedsheet, Damien? Or how often does your wife? Because I know what you like.
I mean, there's no need for that. I think she does it once a week.
Once
I think
a
she
week,
does.
yeah.
She's pretty on top of it.
Darren?
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah, I think once a week.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no
whatever.
chance.
How often?
I can smell yours.
I don't know because I don't do it.
Okay, so how often does your wife change the sheets, you male chauvinistic person?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Do they have...
Do you not
because
notice the change?
No.
Because you're quite a hairy man. Do you molt a lot?
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah.
I can imagine you get out of bed and there's almost like a silhouette of your hair.
More of a sweat.
Oh,
And sometimes do you, because I know you have toenail issues, do sometimes they come off in the night as well?
Yeah, they do actually. Yeah.
anyway, on to my story. So, conducted by Hammond's Furniture. I wonder if it's
Of course
Paul.
it was.
Well,
Why
Paul-
wouldn't it be anyone else?
Yeah.
Why don't they sponsor this show?
Found that 1 in 3 British people only change their bedding once a year.
No.
No, that's no.
That's what I say to that. Once a year. 30% of people change their bedding once a year. Why?
People admitted that, did they?
Yes, people admitted that. That's just... and 18% of people admitted to washing jeans only once a year. So bedding and jeans once a year, that's... Yeah, go on.
Interesting fact about jeans, by the way. Somebody high up from Levi, it might have been Levi himself, obviously because his name is Lee Vi, said that a good pair of jeans you would only ever need to wash once a year. If you looked after them, you only need to wash them once a year because they go all wrong and out of shape or whatever it is. True that.
What about around the gusset?
What's the gusset?
Well, you
Is
know
that-
that. I know what. I mean, if you
Is that
would-
the bottom?
for some reason we have stopped streaming live. Which
taken
I've
us
just-
off.
I've just noticed we've been taken off Facebook Live.
I'm still there, mate.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's my dodgy connection again. No, the gusset is around the cup.
Sorry?
The cup.
Can you be more specific, please?
Quite hard.
The Vijano.
Okay, can I consult the wife? What's the gusset? She just said belly, I think. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, never mind.
And 1 in 10 men, so 10% of men, claim to wash their underwear after every 10 washes, compared to 3% of women. So apparently, some men, 10% of
Oh, some
men, only
mingers out
change
there,
their
isn't
washing, change their underwear every 10 times.
No, I change them every 2 days because I turn them inside out. You see, so you get a double day out of them. But yeah, that's a joke, by the way, Damien. That is a joke.
So yeah, that was my. I just found that rather disgusting that 30% of people say they only change their bed sheets once a year. It's just wrong on many levels.
Well, you see, you talk about bed sheets, and my story this week kind of, I guess, could be around bed sheets, but now I don't want to say that mine always follow a theme of naughtiness and sex and naughtiness. So anyway, this week's story is about a man who was converting his house down south, converting it down in Devon, and he was basically ripping up the floorboards, getting all the floorboards up to put, new floorboards down, all of that jibber jabber. And one was loose. So it was like a loose floorboard. And he was just kind of like, what's under there? What could it be? So he lifted up the floorboard and he found a card, a business card. Now, I'm going to actually show you this business card in a second, but it actually belonged, it was very old, so it was back in the days of shillings, pound and pence, and it was actually belonged to a guy called Percy Longprong. Okay? Now, Percy Longprong was actually an expert in frigging pain and fancy. The terms were cash before mounting, extra attention given to neglected married women, and maidens treated gently, spinsters delighted.
Saddle sore wasn't in it.
Reduced terms to other parties, and widows, especially PTO price list. Do you want to know what's on the price list? Shall I give you
yes,
that?
please.
Okay, let me just get to that, and I will show you the card in a second. So on the card itself, let me just give you a few of these for 9D. So what's 9D? Was that shillings? No, it was a conversion back in the day, like an old one. So it wasn't shillings. What would that have been?
No, it's we're too young, mate.
So let's just say, okay. So anyway, for 9D, whatever that was, you'd get a bubble shake.
A what?
For 2 shillings and 0D, you'd get a saliva exchange.
Morning glory. Wow. You know, you need your grandma kiss for that one, Ian.
For 2 shillings, this gets better, boys. For 2 shillings, guess what you get? A French tickler. Gets even better than that. Get ready, boys. Just give me a 3D finger. Go on, boys. That's right. So, boys, keep it there. For 2 shillings and 6, you'd get a finger diddle. And then for 5, Vaseline if needed, whips and scourges, 3 strokes. And at the very bottom of the card, 3 strokes. And then at the bottom of the card, it says Percy gives green shield stamps. So just to show that this is a real thing, let me just see if you can see that on the camera.
Dear.
So there is Percy Longprong. Can you see that there?
Yes.
There we go. If we scroll down then and we just have a little look at the price list. So there we go. And there's the price list.
Can you go back to the other picture, please?
Yeah, cool. So but I'm all for a whips and scrooges, 3 strokes, to be honest. I'm all about that. So just going back to this again, extra attention given to neglected married women. What a saucy bloke. Percy Longprong. There he is.
What's that there?
What do you mean? We're an audio show. What do you mean? What are you looking at?
You're pointing at a screen, Darren. We can't see what you're pointing at.
What are you pointing at there?
It looks like a elongated chicken nugget.
Well, I wouldn't worry. Yeah, I don't know what that is, actually. My goodness me.
Damien,
so anyway,
can you please just go? It's pence, by the way. A D is pence. So old pence. So can you just go through them one by one, please? Just leave a little gap.
Just go for it. Oh no, there's more.
Oh, is there? Oh, right, go on then. Go on then. Right, I'm ready.
There is more, but you can't see them because it looks like something wet must have been on it and taken a bit of the card off. The card's been rubbed off. It's got wet.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so all you can see is, and this is true, I will show you this again. So if you imagine a business card, so it's faded away, all you can see on the price list is, okay, so we've done the bit about bubble shake, saliva exchange, a French tickler, a finger diddle, Vaseline if needed, whips and scourges, 3 strokes. So now, on the actual price list, it says squiggle, 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 insertions.
And you want to pump it up and down.
Squiggle, 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 positions.
No, I've never whizzed it over the kitchen.
No.
Scuttle.
Oh, dear.
You know when you don't know whether it's actually gone in because it's so smooth?
Stretch.
Shake hard for 10 seconds.
Bath. And you save the best for last because this is my favourite. Dive.
You haven't got anything, have you, for that?
Tell you what, I haven't had a ride for such a long time.
And in actual fact, if you have a look at the picture here, so sorry, this is obviously visual, you can see dive, and just before dive, all you can see is 2 letters and then FF dive. So there you go. That is the brilliant business card of, yet again, let's give his name drop, of course, to Percy Longprong, which was found underneath a floorboard. And the person who found it has put it on Google, tried to do a search on it. It apparently dates back to the very early 18th century.
I think we need to do a disclaimer, by the way. Do not type into Google or your chosen search engine Percy Longprong. We are not responsible for what turns up.
So there you go.
Damien, thank you so. I don't think I've laughed that much for such a long time.
No worries. Just come to me for the entertainment on those sort of stories. I tell you, filth.
Come to you for the entertainment.
It's Monday. You need cheering up. Well, you're listening to The Right Show. This is 3 Men and a Microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
I'm going to leave this in, but if you don't know, we broadcast this live every Wednesday evening on Facebook and YouTube, and you can join us on there to listen to this. Anthony, who's watching at the moment, has just said what that last one is, Damien, the dive one.
What, he actually announced it?
He's actually said what it is. Muff dive.
I know that. You're not meant to say it, though.
I didn't know it. I didn't
What
know
else
what
would it be?
I don't know. I'm not into it, am I?
What did you think it was going to be? Luff dive or something like that? What a prat. Make sure you edit that one. Thanks very much, Tony. Can't say that.
Oh, I'm sweating.
Oh, my
dear
me.
Oh.
Welcome to a Monday night. Or Monday
Anyway,
morning.
Monday,
sorry.
yes, or Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you listen to this. Right, should we have a clean edit? Oh, thank you, Damien.
If you want a clean edit, all that's got to be cut.
Oh, no, that's all staying in. That was hilarious. I love that.
That was very funny.
Oh, right. So, Darren, we're going to clean edit, and you can start off with your news.
I don't want to
please.
do mine now. It's nowhere near as good as that.
I had to make up for last week. Let's be honest. The Willie story was a shocking.
Mine is.
It actually sounded like I was learning to read. So
Yeah, but did you notice it didn't go into the podcast?
no, I know. Just the end of it. Yeah, great. I did listen. I thought he so cut me off, cut me out. I loved it.
And then it just go, and then you just reference it later, and you go, "Oh, you didn't like my Willie story, did you?"
Didn't like it. No, absolutely edited it out. Brilliant.
Right. Oh,
Clean edit.
oh, that was funny. Right, Darren. So, do you not want to do your news then?
Yes, I'll do it if you really. Do you need me to do it, or do you want me to save it for another week?
You can save it for another week. We can do the mystery voice, actually.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay.
Well, sorry. Just before you go any further, Paul Burgess has just put crotch. That's all you need. Just one word, crotch. I don't think that was on the list. I think there was a lot on the list, but I don't think that was on the list. Bless him.
Cheap prices as well, isn't it? Like 5 pence.
Brilliant. There you go.
I'm so going to go on the internet now and type in Percy Longprong and just see what happens.
Can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
Oh,
Brilliant.
right. We will do mystery voice. So, clean edit time. So we are now going to do this week's mystery voice. This is week number 7. So far, we have had Mario Lopez, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, Zac Efron, Nick Jonas, Ryan Seacrest, Michael J. Fox, Tom Cruise, Tobey Maguire, and Michael Bublé as the choices for the mystery voice. I will play the voice to you twice, and then you'll need to tell me who you think it might be. If you are listening and you want to have a guess at the mystery voice, then if you email asyetunnamedpodcast@gmail.com, asyetunnamedpodcast@gmail.com with the answer. If you are correct when it is picked, when these two finally get the answer, and we sort of reveal, the first person to email in the correct answer will win a brand new As Yet Unnamed Podcast badge. We've got prizes! We've got prizes! Don't sound so excited.
Love it. So excited.
So yes, we have prizes for the mystery voice. So yes, if you think you know who this is, then email asyetunnamedpodcast@gmail.com. And if you are the first person with the correct answer, when it is revealed, we will send you a badge. So the 2 clues I gave you are living in a bubble and the wild wilderness. So, who is the mystery voice?
That was not as politically hot at the time. So I think...
I will play it one more time. Who is the mystery voice?
That was not as politically hot at the time. So I think...
You have 14 seconds to decide who you think it is. Who do you think this is?
That was not as politically hot at the time. So I think
Damien.
I think I know it.
Go on then.
I think I know it, boys. I think we've got to that time where I think I've got it.
And it is?
Mr. Mark Wahlberg.
Darren.
I think it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oof. Oof.
So we have Mark Wahlberg and Ryan Reynolds.
that was not as politically hot at the time. So I think
I can tell you that after 7 weeks of trying to decide who this is, you're both wrong.
Come on, throw me a bone.
It is
Put
not.
some shrimps on the barbie.
It is not Mark Wahlberg or Ryan Reynolds.
Nah.
So,
Nah.
if you're listening and you know who this is,
that was not as politically hot at the time. So I think
email asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com. That's asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com if you know who this is for the last time this week.
that was not as politically hot at the time. So I think
I'm going to give you one more clue. The clues you have already are living in a bubble, the wild wilderness. The next clue is star signs.
I mean, they're ridiculous, aren't they?
No, they're
Do you know
not.
what I mean?
When you know who it is, they are not. So, if you think you know who that is and you can beat Damien and Darren, then email asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com. And that was this week's Mystery Voice. There'll be more next week. I don't know what that was. I'll move on.
No, I don't know what that was. That was weird.
Yeah, let's play a jingle.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that right. That was going so well.
3 men close to a midlife crisis. 3 microphones. 1 Zoom call. All lead to this. It's the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
So, Darren, are you sure you don't want to do your news story?
If you want me to do it, I will do it.
Go on.
Yeah,
go on
let's
then.
hear your story.
Go
Come
on.
on.
Let's do it then.
Go on then.
No, I can't be bothered. Yeah, go on. I'll do it. Right. Okay. So, this is something I did. Hang on. Oh dear. That's something I've got to deal with off air, actually.
That's very intriguing and very professional.
Sorry. Hang on. Right.
All right, you can't do that and then leave us and not know what it is. Is it a
right,
personal thing, Darren?
It is, yeah.
Okay, right, fine.
Right, okay. So there's a chance you could own Tom Cruise's Top Gun jacket, bomber jacket, you know, the leather one with the badges and the furry collar, right? But you got to be willing to pay for it. And I don't know how much it's going to go for on the end anyway, but there was no details on that. But it's one of 900 bits of film and TV memorabilia that is going to go up for auction in December. Another lot is Ewan McGregor's lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith, incidentally, the actual one.
Can I just
screen.
Can I quickly say, and it's for anyone that's interested in Star Wars, there is a video on YouTube of someone who's made a real life plasma lightsaber that retracts up and down. So you turn it on and it goes zoom, gets to a certain point, and then they can actually, and it actually works. So you can cut stuff if people are really geek on the Star Wars stuff. Sorry, carry on.
Anyway, yeah, the lightsaber from Revenge of the Sith. Revenge
of the Sith, that would be a different film.
Yeah, it's probably going to
a few of them
go for £120,000. But if money was no object, Damien, Captain, what would you buy off the telly?
Off the telly?
Yeah, so some memorabilia from a film or a TV series. What would you? Money, no object.
I
would you
would
buy?
buy Kit from Knight Rider.
The car.
Oh yeah,
Not the new version.
No. Kit.
The original.
The original one, yeah.
See,
Cool.
I would probably, if money was no object, I would get a one of the models that they used in Star Trek for the Starship Enterprise.
What, the spaceshipy thing?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, because I just think they always look really cool, really cool, really cool, really cool. Like
I would have the hand link from Quantum Loop that I'll add. You know, the flashy.
What was on it though? What was it? What was
Nobody
it doing? Because
knows.
sometimes the camera kind of went round and you saw the angle and it was just flashing lights. Just
Yeah.
anything. You know, sometimes it was a red flashy light.
a really cheap prop is what it was, I would imagine.
I know it wouldn't do anything,
I know it was
But
a Monday morning, but don't start being Mardy.
but I would have that.
Why is that being Mardy?
You just got a bit of a chopsy there. You want a bit chopsy?
Whatever. It's because the adrenaline high of your story is now wearing off, Damien. That's
You
what
like
it
that
is.
story, didn't you?
And we have to
You
go,
did.
we have to give Darren his minute and a half of actually being part of the podcast. So you know.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Darren. That was really interesting. So Damien, what what is your fun and happy end of the show story, please?
Yeah, so what I want to do every week is there's so much, let's be honest, it's a bit crap out there at the moment. And sorry to be a bit vulgar, but it is, isn't it? It's not, we're all a bit uncertain. We don't know what's going on. The rules are all over our head. But what we do know is wearing a mask, social distance, and following your common sense is what we all need to do to get out of this thing. But you know what? Sometimes we just need a nice story, don't we? Just something that we can kind of go about. And this is this story. So I'm going to read this word for word, and it's quite a cute one. Okay. So it's all about the Royal Mail. Okay. Now, Royal Mail sent a heartwarming gesture for a girl who posted a parcel. Do you know who? To who?
Santa?
To the fairies.
Oh.
Now, convincing little ones to give up their dummies is a struggle many parents have to face as their children get older. Now, one mum who decided it was the right time for her daughter to ditch the dummy decided to encourage her to send it away to the Dodo Fairy. So she knew it was going to be a special place for safekeeping. The pair packaged it up, addressed the parcel to the fairies, and added their own address just in case there was any problems. Incredibly, the mum was left stunned when just a few days later, a card landed through the letterbox for a little girl from the fairies. It read, "Thank you. You are so kind and courageous to give your dummy to the fairies. We are proud of you and we promise to look after it." There was also a letter from her mum from a late shift manager, Les. Good old Les, love Les, who explained that the Royal Mail often tried to reply to parcels with a return address and said he enclosed a card from the dummy fairies for her daughter, which he hopes was okay. And you know what? It's only little that, but it's little things like that that have just counted over the last kind of couple of months, you know, whether it be a food parcel to someone, whether it be there was a guy the other day who put something on Twitter saying, you know, I haven't spoke to anyone for days. Can someone just say hello? And he got thousands, hundreds of thousands of people tweet him saying hello. So for me, Les in the Royal Mail, I salute you, sir. Good man. And that, this week, is my feel-good story.
And the cynic inside of me would say that's the reason why they're losing money all over this, because they're wasting time on that when they should be delivering parcels and letters.
Oh, you're such a miserable git. I tell you, we've got to do this twice a week with you.
Right, Michael Jackson there.
Yeah. You could have said a Shimon at some point.
We could have done that. I'm still intrigued what's on your mobile phone because literally...
I can tell you. Would you like me to tell you?
I would love you to tell us. What was it?
I have read what alert came on my phone. And first of all, I panicked, thinking that I'm going to have to self-isolate for a couple of weeks. I'm looking at my wife. I had an alert from that app, the NHS COVID app.
Oh, yes.
I had an alert, came up on my phone. And I thought, hang on a minute, what's this? Then I got another one that came up. And I thought, oh my, what's this all about? So I started to panic. I thought, hang on a minute, I'm live on doing this with you guys. Have I been anywhere that's a little bit ropey, a little bit dodge? But it turns out that my area level has changed. Apparently,
Is that it?
yeah.
What are you now then? What's Stoke now?
Well, I've just had a look on the app while you were doing your feel good story just to double check, and it's still medium.
Yeah,
Where I live, still medium, so it's not really changed. So I don't understand why they sent that.
Just going to share with you that app and the track and trace system has cost about £13 billion. Do you know where all that money's gone? To a private company who's going to report an 18% at least increase in profits for the first half of this year. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Oh, you're being a bit political and a bit bitter there, aren't you?
No, it's not bitter at all. It's a fact. It's cost £13 billion of our money has been spent on an app and a track and trace system that doesn't work.
You be careful. We're going to be taken off Facebook in a minute. Be careful.
I am going to play you. I got a message. We all know Beauty and the Beast, don't we?
Yes.
Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast has a very special song just for you.
It's a mask, heaven's sakes, it's just a mask. Such a shame that asking folks to follow rules gets you harassed. You can shout, you can glare, but listen, Karen, I don't care. Never seen folks so dramatic over a f***ing piece of fabric. Hard to breathe, feels too hot, quit your bitching, there's a thought. Suck it up, and don't you give me any sass. We've got a lot to do, and it's not just the flu, so wear a mask. 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 Get your head out of your ass. Try to think of someone other than yourself is all we ask. While you sit, watching Fox, ignoring science and the docs. Wow, your ignorance is showing as the death toll keeps on growing. Case by case, test by test. Don't forget, you're not oppressed till we put this damn pandemic in the past. Try not to be so grouchy, have some faith in Fauci. Wear a mask, wear a mask, wash your hands and wear a mask.
Thank you, Mrs. Potts and Sebastian, who I believe that was. I may have got that wrong.
Well done. That was very, very well done, by the way.
I like that.
I'm not going to claim credit for that.
Great. That was no. The end of that, where it all mixed in. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's segged nicely.
Yeah,
Using a playout system.
Thank you. Keep praising. Keep the praise coming. Keep the praise coming.
Oh,
right.
sorry.
Oh yeah, go on.
Sorry, no, I'm just trying to order a finger diddler online. It doesn't.
Oh, I thought you got an alert then.
No, and also the whips and with free strokes, apparently.
I like
All
the
I
fact
can get at the moment is a bubble shake.
I like the fact that it's 3 strokes. If you want 6, you got to pay double, love.
And of all the people, do you know what I mean? I mean, me and you, I tried to hide what dive was, and you just said, "Oh, I've got this from Bernard on Facebook. Oh, it's a yeah, that dive." So innocent.
It was worth
Bless
it.
you.
Thank you so much for listening to Monday's episode of the As Yet Unnamed podcast. We are back again on Friday with our ultimate top 5 from the As Yet Unnamed podcast. I've just realised we've not named this part of this show correctly. This is now the three men and a microphone from the As Yet Unnamed podcast. We forgot that bit at the beginning, but anyway, no one will notice. So, Damien, thank you very much for your company on this Monday.
I've enjoyed it, thank you. Do you know what? For the start of the week, this has proper got me motivated. And as that lovely, lovely song said, wear a mask. Do you know what I mean? Just wear a mask. We all want to get out of this. I say it every week. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Remember what you put on social media. And be kind.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you very much for your company.
Thank you very much. It's been fantastic.
And on Friday... Go on, sorry.
Forget it.
It's all right. I thought you'd finished because your connection went. All right, whatever. Don't start. On Friday, we will have our Halloween special with the top 5 horror characters of all time. Out Friday morning, 6 a.m. from the As Yet Unnamed podcast. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again on Friday. Don't forget you can listen to us every Wednesday and you can watch us record this live on Facebook and YouTube. Bye for now.
It's Monday. You need cheering up. Well, you're listening to The Right Show. This is Three Men and a Microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Thank you, Monday show done, ladies and gentlemen.
Well done, guys. Well done. Very good show. Very good show.
I loved that. I have to say, I don't think I've
that
laughed.
was possibly one of the best ones.
I don't think I've laughed so much for such a long time. Thank you very much to Paul Burgess, Dunk, Anthony, who's listening at the moment, David Holland and his lovely wife and their dog, no doubt, or dogs now, are listening at the moment as well. I've got loads of people on my watch party, so thank you very much for that. Now, before we start the next part of the show, I need to just disappear for a moment. So if you two can keep going, I will. Yeah, when you hear when you hear some music play, be quiet and I will be back. Okay. Just going to turn my camera off now. I can still hear you both, by the way.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Damo, can I just say I was proper worried when that alert came up off that app then.
I know, you did seem proper worried.
I was like, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to phone in work and go, I can't do the breakfast show.
I was a bit worried for you, I tell you. Your face went proper scared, bless you.
I checked the app and it says my area where I live is gone to the next level, but it hasn't. The app still says medium. Which
do you know what, Daz? It's been a while since I've even gone to the next level, to be honest.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Just to explain what we're doing now. So basically, we record two podcasts now. We record Mondays and we record Fridays. So for the people on Facebook still watching, for the people on the watch parties as well, thanks for sticking with us, because you're basically watching two podcasts be recorded. And when you download them, there'll be none of this bit. It all sounds nice. It all sounds smooth. And we're about to record Friday's podcast, which is the Halloween special. So we're now going to fast forward to next Friday, where it is the 31st of October, and we're going to be at Halloween, mate.
It's not going to be the 31st of October, actually.
Oh, is it not? What's it going to be?
It's going to be, let me just consult my producer, which is the iPhone.
Right, good.
And it's going to be the 30th of October.
Oh, okay, so we're doing a little preempted version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he having a poo?
Probably, yeah. So it could be some time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he still takes the paper with him to have a read.
Come on, we all take the paper, don't we? Let's be honest.
No, I take the phone.
I find, because I've got 3 kids, that is the only place that sometimes you can just be.
I don't like that.
Sweet, what is that?
I don't like that.
I don't like whatever that is. I do not. Oh no.
No.
I don't like that at all.
No. I feel.
I don't like this.
Did you miss me? Oh, are we all right?
I didn't like that.
Did I miss anything?
There was like a bit of a creepy demon type thing.
A bit of a what?
Yeah.
A bit of a creepy demon. It was just like creepy eyes and demon-y type things. And
all right, okay. No, I just went. I needed to go to the toilet, so I just thought I'd disappear and go to the toilet.
You were right, Damien, but I don't know what that was then.
I tell you, my pants are heavy.
Heavy?
They're a bit full.
I've heard of a puppy's nose, but I have a Dalmatian in my pants.
When I go to do the breakfast show in the morning, I arrive in the dark.
Sorry, do you
And-
do a breakfast show?
Yeah, and it's proper spooks me in that place.
Right.
It's proper spooks me in that place.
I didn't
And-
realise you did a show, to be honest.
Just seeing that then, it's the kind of thing that I probably will see in the morning, probably now, because it's in my head.
That's possibly one of the scariest things I've ever seen. I won't lie to you, and Ian, I know you weren't part of that, but that was flipping terrifying.
Do I need
be
to watch
honest.
it back?
I would, yeah.
Okay.
You know, it was borderline Ghost Watch with Yvette Fielding.
It wasn't that great. Wasn't that
Brilliant,
just
weren't
great?
it? God rest his soul, Derek. Here, spirits, talk to me, spirits.
With his
Yes.
with his spirit guide Sam.
Yeah.
Can I ruin any illusion of that program? If you search for that Most Haunted, you will find out that all of that was filmed in the daytime. They changed it in post production to nighttime, and someone on purpose planted information about a location that they were going to, which was completely fake. And guess what? Surprise, surprise! Derek Akora channeled Sam to get that fake information. So yeah, it's all rubbish. Anyway.
I thought
with him?
actually, I said great show to what did you call it? Ghost Watch? Did you call it?
It was Ghost Watch actually, yeah, but I was just going to go with it.
Well, there was one, wasn't there, back years ago?
Yvette Fielding and Michael
No,
Astor.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
that-
it was
no, no,
Sarah
no.
Green.
Oh, Sarah Green.
Sarah Green.
Yes. Yeah.
It was
That's
on
the
BBC
one.
One.
It
The
was. And it
bit-
got so many complaints.
The bit when they're in the bedroom and they pan the camera around and there's something standing and then they sort of just and they go back and it's gone. Yeah, it scared me
Yeah,
to crazy. It's
So
very well done.
so good. You can actually watch it in full on YouTube, incidentally. By the way.
Yes,
You can. Very good.
Right. So yes, I'm not sure what that was, but anyway, thank you very much for the people that are listening. Yeah, Anthony's just said for Most Haunted, Mary loves Dick. When he says that, that's brilliant. He gets possessed by a spirit, just Derek Akora, and he just starts shouting, "Mary loves Dick! Mary loves Dick!" And that's exactly what he does, and that was planted. So yeah, it's very funny. Completely ruins it. Right, should we move on with the recording?
Should we start the show?
Yeah, okay. So, excuse me, I'm going to take some water before I do that. You are listening to the As Yet Unnamed podcast. Thank you very much for watching on YouTube and Facebook. And I hope you're enjoying the show. We are now going to do our top 5. So this is the Friday show, and it's called the Ultimate Top 5 on the As Yet Unnamed podcast. So sit back, enjoy this. It's 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. We are recording this. It will go out a week on Friday when we do our 2 weekly shows. So, right, let's play. Excuse me. Oh dear, sorry.
Get yourself a test, to be honest.
Have you had an alert on your app yet? Or what?
Yeah.
I think I have.
It's something great, that is it?
Oh, right, shall I play the new jingle?
Let's go for it.
It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. So sit back and join Ian, Damien, and Darren for the ultimate top 5 lists show. It's the As Yet Unnamed podcast top 5.
Can I just say, we're not starting yet, but I'm just so happy with our jingles. So thank you very much to the company that does them, because they are so
Yeah,
good.
they are great, and also we need
really good.
the money. So yeah, no,
Yes, you do
very
owe
good.
me money for that and for the badges. Anyway, right, let's record.
Now, twice a week. Aren't you the lucky ones? You're watching, downloading, and listening to the As Yet Unnamed podcast. It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. So sit back and join Ian, Damien, and Darren for the ultimate top 5 lists show. It's the As Yet Unnamed podcast top 5.
Shut up, Darren. You absolute idiot. Start that again.
You can tell this is live, so
Oh,
I don't know
anyway.
why you're messing with that. There's nothing there, man.
I know, tell me about it. Look, if I do that, look how little hair there is up there now.
I'd shave it.
I'm going to nickname you Tufty from now on.
Trouble is, if I shave it, there's going to be 2 potato heads in the show, and it's not really going to look right, is it?
Mine's looking like Donald Trump at the moment. It's just look. Don't
It is.
move.
It is a bit quiffy. To be fair, if you had a bit of an orange tan, you wouldn't be far off Donald Trump.
Back.
Let's move on.
Do Just don't come over here and start and kiss every one of us. That's all I want.
Let's not get started on the American election, shall we? Anyway, right, let's try that again. I'll go from the talk over.
It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. So sit back and join Ian, Damien, and Darren for the ultimate Top 5 Lists show. It's the As Yet Unnamed Podcast Top 5.
Hello, welcome to the As Yet Unnamed Podcast Ultimate Top 5. It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. Thank heavens it's time to have some time off work, if you work Monday to Friday, that is. I'm going to introduce you to Darren. Hello, Darren.
Hello, Captain. How you doing? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. And Damien, hello.
Hello. Friday. It's been a long week, isn't it?
It has been a very long week, and this is episode number 2 of our new twice-weekly podcast series. And this is the ultimate top 5 from the As Yet Unnamed podcast. So, let me explain what's going to happen. We are going to give you a top 5 each week, and it's going to be on a different subject. We've had lots so far. We've had 80s films, we've had action films, we've had sci-fi films, all this sort of stuff. But because this is the day before Halloween, when we release this, we're going to do our top 5 ultimate horror characters from TV and film. So, we are going to give you our list of top 5s. So we're each going to read them out in no particular order, with no comment or anything like that. We're just going to give you the names, and this is who's going to be in the bundle and in the bucket to pick out. And then we're going to randomly pick a person to pick each place in the top 5. It will all become clear as we go along, I promise you. Hold that there for 1 second. Need to do that because I need to bring up on the live stream. There we go. Right. So, let's start then with our top 5 list. So these are all of the names that are going to be in the top 5 to be the ultimate horror characters from TV and film. So, I will start in no particular order. My top 5 are Hannibal Lecter, Negan, Freddy Krueger, Annie Wilkes, and Dracula. Damien, your top 5,
right.
please.
You've only known me about probably about 20 years, and you call me Damon. No worries, Igor. So we have got Pinhead, Candyman, Freddy, the doll, Saw on the bike, the doll that was in Saw on the bike, the creepy woman in the ring who came out the well.
Darren, your top 5 picks, please.
Thank you. And again, in no particular order, we have Mr. Voorhees, we have Brenda Bates, we also have a clown, and we also have a strange bat thing as well. Plus.
You only meant to give the names, Darren. Just the names.
Yes.
I don't need
Yes.
an explanation. Just the names.
Yes, and Scott Howard.
Thank you very much. So, it is time to do our ultimate top 5. I'm going to edit this in later on. Just want to do we missed out the whole bit about how the fat people can get in contact with the podcast. So, if you want to get in contact with the podcast, then you can do, and it is the asyetUnnamedpodcast.uk. If you want to check us out on the website, you can email us asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a tweet on Twitter @asyetUnnamedPod and find us on Facebook. If you want to pick a top 5 that we do, then you can do. Email asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com. And if we pick your top 5, we will send you a shiny limited edition As Yet Unnamed podcast badge for free. We will send it to you in the post as a thank you for giving us some suggestions for our top 5s.
That's what's ever so cute, just how you said badge then. It just kind of went badge. It's just a little badge. And on that little badge, it says badge.
He did it very Frank Spencer.
Well, he's not exactly the most deep guy, is he?
Badge.
badge. No, I can't do deep voices. Right, are we ready?
We are ready,
yeah.
yes. We are ready.
If you look at your live streams, people, you will see that there is now a little spinny wheel underneath
I can
me.
see that, yeah. Oh, it's like, when I go to parties, sometimes we've got a bowl and like we put our keys in it. Just like that, to be honest.
It's production, this is you wouldn't believe what this is, how to set this up. It's I'm
no,
impressed
seriously,
with myself.
this.
Shall I play a jingle to get us a clean edit?
Yeah.
It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. So sit back and join Ian, Damien, and Darren for the ultimate top 5 lists show. It's the As Yet Unnamed Podcast Top 5.
So our top 5 this week is ultimate horror characters from TV and film. So let's decide who is going to be picking number 5. I am going to spin the wheel. You both all right there?
Was that the Commodore 64 crashing then, was it?
Are you not? You're not happy with that noise?
Leave it in. It's funny. It's just like a Commodore 64. It's still going round, but everything else has stopped.
I'm so sorry. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard. He's so not impressed. Do you know what? I spend from midday to midnight doing this, and all I get from you is shenanigans. Please play it again.
Oh,
Please play it again.
The big build-up.
Do you know what you both can do? Do you know what you can both do?
Don't be like
off. That's what you can both do.
There's no need. Can you play it? Can you spin the wheel again?
No, because it takes bloody for ages. Because I couldn't find one. Right. Anyway, it is me who is picking the number 5. I'll just spin the wheel. I won't bother with the sound effect, whatever. You stupid people. At number 5 in the ultimate top 5 is from me. So I get this pick. My number 5 is Annie Wilkes. Now, do either of you know who Annie Wilkes is?
I think, and I'm going to have a guess at this. So just for people who are just tuning in, we're doing our top 5 all-time of scary film characters or TV characters. Because tomorrow's Halloween, don't you know? Grr-arg! Reference to Buffy. Grr-arg! No. I think Annie Wilkes was from... It was that film when they broke her legs. Misery.
Yes, you are correct. So, from 1990, played by Kathy Bates, and brilliantly portrayed and sort of parodied by Dawn French in one of their sketches that they did in Dawn French and Saunders. She won an Oscar for the role, and she does play the mild-mannered. But
did she win an Oscar?
She did win an Oscar. Mild-mannered,
wow.
but absolutely crazy woman who a writer that she is stalking crashes, and she takes him in and says because he's injured. But there is the most famous bit is when he is kept captive, tied to a bed, and she walks in with a hammer because he tries to escape. And it is every time you watch it, you know exactly what's coming, you know exactly what's going to happen. But it's that when she lifts the hammer up and she literally breaks his ankles with the hammer, it is just like, oh, no.
It's not a true story, is it?
No, it's definitely not a true story.
It is visually as well. It is such ahead of its time film. And she is, it's the way she kind of creeps in and you know she's coming in. It's everything you want in... It doesn't necessarily need to be a scary face, I don't think. With a horror
definitely
film.
not. Definitely not.
And with that, it's psychological. And I think Ian has got a great point. She is fantastic in it. And if you get a chance to watch it, you feel the pain that he's going through. And without revealing it, well, I'm probably going to actually. Does he get out in the end? I can't remember.
I'm sure he does.
Escape?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does in the end. I'm sure he gets out. Someone will probably tell us that we're completely wrong on that because it's been a long time since I run it. But I always remember that bit when she literally just smashes his legs to pieces with a hammer. It's
so
just
good.
vile,
But she
horrible.
is one scary woman. And do you know what? I think rightfully so, she deserves a top in the top 5.
So she was our number
Do you agree with
5.
that, Darren?
Absolutely. Great
Because
film.
I think
Alex.
during
Love it.
this item, we either agree or we don't agree. So it's either a yay or a nay. Are we okay with that, Ian?
It's a
that's
yay.
fine.
So
I'm
I
with that.
think for that one is a yay from me. Darren?
Yeah, for me. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Wasn't he a presenter or a journalist or something? The guy.
He was a crime writer.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
she became obsessed with him, and he crashed. But I think, if I remember the film correctly, it's been a while since I've watched it. If I remember it correctly, she sort of almost causes him to crash, but it's pretended it's an accident, and she's looking after him. But yeah, it's a really creepy film. It's one I hope they just don't remake. There's no point in remaking. some of
Psycho.
these.
Absolute psycho.
Yes,
Really is. And
proper.
definitely well deserved. It's a yay from us on the top 5 for Annie Bates.
Excellent. I am not going to play you the sound. I'm going to
Go
spin
on.
the wheel.
Come
No,
on. We've got
no.
new listeners.
Yeah, go
Spin
on.
the wheel. Spin the wheel.
The wheel is spinning. It just takes a long time for it to get up to speed.
Stop being prissy. Come on. Play the jingle.
One snake.
Do you know the reason I picked that? Because it's so difficult to find a sound effect. I wanted one that sounds like the Wheel of Fortune wheel. You can't find them. It's really difficult.
You didn't ask me. I've got that anyway.
Well, why didn't you flipping say then?
All right, come
Idiot.
on. I wouldn't now, that for me, because I know I get the bill for this because Barbara does the finances for this show, and that blew the budget. Number 4 then, Ian, on the
So,
TV film
number
scariest.
4 on our ultimate top 5 horror characters is from Darren. Now, Darren, just to remind you, you need to pick your number 4 pick, not a random one. Your number
I
4.
understand. His second name, is Mr. Voorhees. There's been a number of people that have played this character. And do you know who Mr. Voorhees is?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not getting that.
I do. He is Freddy. Not Freddy. Sorry, he's Jason, isn't he?
He is.
Friday the 13th.
He is, yeah. And the thing is, he's never died in all of those films. And at the end of the film, you think, oh, must have gone already. Must have. Wow.
The very first
Never.
time I saw that, and it was on VHS, and it was amongst my other VHSs when I was a teenager.
Friday the 13th doubled, yeah.
So
Friday
always
30D,
remember-
that's what it should have.
Stop it. Babe Station, it was all muffled.
Babe Station wasn't around when you were a teenager, mate. You're not that young.
No, it was a 15-minute preview,
Yeah,
and then it went dark on the screen.
I want to take a clip of every time you've mentioned the 15-minute preview in this podcast.
So, I always remember watching Friday the 13th for the first time, and Darren, you'll know this as well. For people who haven't seen it, it's kind of a great film. There's a big battle and everything like that, and then at the very end, it's back on the river again. This is the very original, and they're going off in a boat. See you later. Off you go. Comfortable. I'm in a boat now. Thank God he's dead. Everything's fine. What happens, Darren?
He doesn't die, though, does he?
Doesn't die. Comes out the river, grabs the person under the water. Music, scared, popcorn gone, person behind you screaming. That was a film. And for me, sir, your number 4 choice, it's a yay from me.
Fantastic. The thing is, what you need to do is binge watch all of the films in order, even including the very, 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 very new one when Jamie Lee Curtis came back and did the same character.
I liked the new one.
Right.
I'm not. The first one's very good, and then they do go downhill. Some of the later ones are terrible. Because
they did a crossover, didn't they,
yeah,
with Jason and Freddy as well?
That's
right?
just it's
Yeah.
atrocious.
That wasn't great, was it?
But
No.
the latest one with her in is really, really good. I thought it was a really good remake and almost ending of the franchise. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but yeah, it's good. I like that. When was that out, Darren?
What, the new one?
No, the original.
70. It was, wasn't it 70s?
I think it was 77, 78.
He's done his research, Damien. He's obviously got it down on his notes, hasn't he?
Do you know what? I think you're picking on him tonight. Sorry, this morning.
It could be night. Depends when people are listening.
The mask. I mean, the mask has changed through the franchise, hasn't it? Because it wasn't a hockey mask
Yeah,
originally,
hockey mask, yeah.
and then it just became a white face mask.
Well, didn't it start off with not being? It was just a person. It wasn't a.
He was a little boy in the very first one.
Yeah, and
He was 'cause his
it
mum
wasn't. It
was
wasn't
in
an
the river,
evil
wasn't
demon.
she?
Yeah, he wasn't an evil demon, was he? He wasn't like some sort of supernatural creature. He was.
He's not a demon.
No, he's a person.
Yeah,
He's no demon.
But he's not obviously because he comes back. He is now more of a supernatural figure.
No. He's not a demon.
What is he then?
He's a madman.
But
he's not a demon.
He is though in later ones, isn't he? He's more.
He's not a demon.
I'm not saying
having this whole-
demon. I mean more supernatural type thing.
Darren, telling me, and a demon.
He's not a demon, but he is actually classed as a freaky kind of stunt horror person.
I will drive to Reddit, irrespective of if we're in tier 3 lockdown at any point in the near future, Damien. I will stand at your front door and pretend to be Jason with a big knife.
Yeah, but the problem is he's not a demon.
No, he's not a demon.
Okay, fine. He's not a demon.
So, Ian, is it a yay or a nay for number 4?
It's a nay to you. It is a yay from me.
Yay! So
It's a good
far,
choice.
we've got a blinking good top 4.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm liking it. Right, I'm going to spin the wheel. I'm not doing the sound effect.
Go on, do
no,
the sound.
No.
It's part of the show, do the
No, I'm
sound.
not doing it.
You'll do it, and you'll do as you're told.
I'm not playing the sound.
Got to get Barbara on the case.
Sorry, I pressed the button then. Sorry.
That was perfectly on time as well. Right. At number 3 in our ultimate top 5 of horror characters is Damien's pick.
Okay, so
This is all very even so far.
if you think of horror films, when do you normally watch a horror film?
Late at night, I think.
Yeah,
You do.
at
You
night,
watch it late at
yeah.
night.
Not
And
when,
what
not
do
when
you
you watch in the morning. You don't watch a horror film in the morning,
No,
do
no, no.
you?
So what do you do when you watch the horror film after that? Where do you go after that?
Bed.
You go to bed, yeah. And what do you do when you? It depends who you are. What?
Track wind.
If you've not listened to Monday Show, that will make no sense to you whatsoever.
Black Beauty. So anyway, moving swiftly on. You go to bed and you go to sleep. And my number 3 is the personification of something that gets into your head. Because not only is it a great film, but the flipping bloke enters your dreams. And he kills you in your dreams. And it's a bit... 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, he's knocking at your door. 5, 6, get your crucifix. 8, 9, never sleep. It's not that one, is it? I ruined that, didn't I? What's 8 and 9? That's embarrassing.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 2, 3, better lock your door. 5, 6, get a crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
All right, you ruined it.
Do you want
Well,
to do you want to do it again?
No, do you know what you
No,
are?
Damien, please do it again because please do it again. Do it just as you did, but get it right this time. Go on.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, he's knocking at your door. 5, 6, get your crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. You know what I mean? There's me, and you turn it into a blipping animal farm. What's the matter with you?
I'd watch that version. Oh, yeah.
So there you go. For me, our number 3, I think there was 8 movies or 9 movies. I'm going to get corrected on that.
I think there's 9.
The original was probably the best, but I also like A New Nightmare, where it's actually got Robert Englund as Robert Englund. The other one, the remake, was terrible. He looked like a teddy bear. But for me, one of the scariest characters is Frederick or Freddy Krueger.
So I agree. I really like Freddy Krueger. He was so it was released in.
Whoa. Let's just to go back there, right? I like Darren. He's a nice guy. Yeah, I like you. How can you turn around and say you're like a mass murderer with like things on his hands and who's got burnt face? You like him?
I like the character of Freddy Krueger. If you'd let me finish what I was going to say, I was going to give a bit more detailed information because I've done some research. The original the original film was released in 1984 by Wes Craven, and it was and that's all the information I've got.
I was hoping you were going to say the history behind it and how he became Freddy Krueger.
I can tell you off the top of my head. I can tell you what it is
because I haven't seen all of them and I don't know the history, but I know of them.
So he was a killer. He was a paedophile, and he preyed on children. And the town caught him, took him to a industrial unit, and threw him in a furnace. Hence the reason why he's all burned. And then his spirit comes back to get revenge on him being killed. I think, if I've got that correctly, I believe that's the story.
So it's a spirit. It's his spirit.
He is a proper, he's a proper demon.
I mean, would you say he was a demon?
Yes, he was a demon.
That does remind me of something because, Darren, what the hell is that behind you?
What?
Just down the. Oh yeah, just behind the plant.
I don't like that at all.
Don't do that,
Darren. Seriously, that is not nice.
Yeah, no, I can see it as well.
That is creepy. Seriously.
Don't do that to me because I get really jumpy.
It is just coming down the stairs now, Darren.
Darren, seriously, what is that behind you?
It's just behind the AYUT.
Oh, Darren.
Tie up. It's behind the tie up, Darren.
Darren, look behind you, man. But
he actually looked as well. He looked behind.
Peek.
Idiot.
He thought there was a little demon, didn't he? Bless him. There you go.
Spider or something.
Not below you.
Idiot.
So, ladies and gentlemen, is Freddy at number 3 a yay or a nay? Darren?
I'm going to go yay because I really want to watch them. So, and I do know they're very good. So I'm going to say yay, although I've never seen them.
What? I'm saying yay, definitely yay.
I tell you what, 3 out of 3, boys, and we're all agreeing so far. I do think, though, because some of the last choices are rubbish. So let's see if it is, because the number 1 has to be the best. So let's see.
Spinning the wheel of fate. It's got to warm up a little bit. Sorry.
It's a bit awkward, wasn't it, to be honest? Must have been the demon.
Just got to wait for the right time for it to do, and it's about now.
If it lands on me for the number 1, you're all in trouble.
It's me! Yay! This is all very even and fair at the moment. So my number 2, and my number 2 has already been picked actually, so I'm going to change slightly.
Sounds like you had a number 2 earlier.
I did.
Did something
happen?
Turned up.
I say, did something happen?
No, absolute nutter.
So my number 2 is. No, I can't do the impression of it. I'm really bad at it. So played by Anthony Hopkins. In an Oscar-winning role.
Again.
No,
do what you just did.
Go on,
then.
Darren. Darren, you do it for me. I'll pretend I'm doing it. Right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
You're just whispering.
Do you know what
he's doing? He's doing
not.
ASMR.
It sounds like he's standing at the door going.
What was it? I can't. What's the noise? Damien, do you know it?
You breathe through your teeth.
You're not calling your cat in, are you?
Is that it? This is a really scary one, isn't it? So my number 2.
You got to be careful. You might turn into your.
You're all idiots, dear. Honestly, all idiots. So my number 2 is played by Anthony Hopkins, Oscar-winning role again in Hannibal, with Jodie Foster as Clarice. It is Hannibal Lecter, because I think as a creepy film that isn't technically a horror, because it is not. It's more of a crime thriller, but it's still a horror character. I think it's one of the best. When you first see Hannibal Lecter in the cell and she walks through and she's told to keep a distance. She walks past all these other psychopathic people, and then she sees him in this glass-fronted, old bricked cell, and he just walks up towards her. It's just like, oh, that's creepy beyond creepy.
The thing is, though, is the... Sorry, Darren.
Sorry. No, you go on. You go first.
The more that movie goes on, didn't they imply that there was a bit of a romantic link between them later on?
An infatuation, I think, might be a good
yeah.
way of saying it, rather than a romantic. I think it's more of that Stockholm syndrome type thing where you fall for the person that's after you or something like that.
And I can imagine that if Darren and I were locked in a maroon desert or something like that, just me and Darren on a desert, I do think at some point Darren and I would be together.
Mm-hmm. So my wife would say that the books are better than the films.
I've heard that. I've heard the I'm going to say the book. All right. I nearly said the book then. Nearly said the book. Apparently, Silence of the Lambs, the book, and I agree with your wife, it's meant to be much scarier and very graphic as well, dare I say. Very graphic.
I think she's got them all. Like, yeah, she's nodding.
I will, Anthony, who was watching us live on Facebook Live, if you want to do that, you can do Wednesday nights from 8 p.m. It's just pointed out there's actually Silence of the Lambs, not Hannibal. So, yes, apologies. It's Hannibal Lecter. I'm technically correct because I'm saying the character is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs.
Can you remember it? One of them. And I always think about it when I'm taking, and you shouldn't really, but when I'm taking the kids to like a farm or something, there's a scene in one of the movies, and I didn't even know they were this vicious, but one of the characters falls into a pig pen and the pigs eat his face, and he's a bit of a...
I can tell you this, Damien. Not literally. I can't tell you that, but so there is from, I think it's Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. In that film, they give a dead body to pigs and they eat it, and there's nothing left. Pigs will eat absolutely anything you give them, irrespective of what it is, and they will eat it until there is nothing left.
And I'm not going to get like political on this, but apparently, and this is just something I've heard, and we're going completely off kilter here. Has it been said that humans are not meant to consume pork?
What?
Pigs are, we're not meant to consume, there's something in it that doesn't digest very easily.
Damien, how long have people been eating pork? How many thousands of years have people been eating pork?
Well, I don't know, I've only been around 40 years. Who am I?
Where did you hear that you're not meant to eat pork?
A vegetarian told me.
Well, yeah. There you go then.
Right.
Surprised it's not a vegan.
Yeah. Okay then.
Dear me.
So my number two pick is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs and the subsequent films. Darren, a yay or a nay?
For Hannibal the Cannibal, yes.
Damien?
No. Mine's a nay.
Why?
Why a no?
I don't think, in terms of, for me, I could agree with the latter stage of Mrs. Bates, whatever her name was from that film, Misery. But I think to have a thriller type person at number two, I've never watched that and been, really fearsome and really scared. For me, that's a nay from me. I don't think at number two in a top 5 of all time of scariest TV characters, would it have been in the top 5 for me? No.
Ooh, controversial.
It's a nay from me.
This is going better than it would have done if we were just using Darren, though, to be fair. Right, so let's play a jingle.
It's Friday. The weekend is almost here. So sit back and join Ian, Damien, and Darren for the ultimate top 5 lists show. It's the As Yet Unnamed Podcast Top 5.
So far, our ultimate top 5 horror characters from TV and film are as follows. At number 5, Annie Wilkes from Misery, 1990. Number 4, Jason from Friday the 13th films. At number 3, Freddy Krueger, who I thought may have been higher. And at number 2 is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. So, we are now going to get down to who is going to decide who is going to pick the ultimate horror character from TV and film. So, here we go. Let's spin the wheel without the sound. Do you want the sound?
Yeah, I love
please,
the sound.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Let's just get rid of that then. Right. Let's play the sound. Damien. It's quite appropriate because, obviously Damien is a satanic name. So, Damien, what is your number one, please?
So,
The emergency tape almost came in then. You took so long.
I know, nearly kicked in then, didn't it? Yeah. That was quite a hell-raising response. So if you imagine, okay, there has been 3 films, there's been a spin-off, and apparently there's been some sort of dodgy TV series. He hails from hell, and for some reason, he has pins in his head. My number one is Pinhead.
Now you see, I think that's a good shout, and the reason I remember watching that film. When was it out, Damien?
I'm just going to give you some research on Pinhead, actually, because I do think he deserves a bit more info. So he's created by Clive Barker. He's a fictional character, and he's the main bad guy in the Hellraiser franchise, first appearing as an unnamed figure in the novella The Hellbound Heart. You ever heard of that one?
No.
No? Okay, so he first was portrayed by Doug Bradley in 1987. A new actor came in 2011 with Stephen Collins. And then most recently, it was Paul Taylor in 2018. He's been known as different names. He's been called the Hell Priest, Lead Cenobite, the Pope of Hell, the Engineer, and the Cold Man. And he's actually the leader of the Cenobites. Can you remember what Cenobites are?
Are they a collection of evil gods or something like that
They
from
are.
hell?
You've got one that's
something
just like a
that?
mouth with
Yes.
teeth. So he first appeared in 1987, and it was kind of a real difference from the normal 1980s horror characters because they really kind of went a bit freaky, a bit bizarre, and a bit S&M. So he was. I mean, the makeup was fantastic for its day.
So yes, I remember watching the film when I was younger, and I wasn't very good with scary films when I was younger. The Thing scared me crazily, and I think if I remember rightly, Hellraiser had pretty much the same effect. I didn't do very good with gory films when I was younger. And I remember being frightened by Pinhead. I didn't like the character at all. I'm not sure why.
I'm guessing he killed people. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched any of these?
Never seen
Darren?
them. Never seen these. Never seen them.
Surprise. But yeah, I think it's a good horror character.
To give you a bit more info on that as well,
Yeah, go
because
on.
he applied that makeup so many times, he actually appeared in 8 films. And later on, as the movie series, 8 films. As it kind of went on, he wasn't just starring as Pinhead. He actually became the assistant makeup artist on the films because he applied that makeup so many times. It's a really, like I said, the thing for me, it was just a complete contrast to what the other films were. There has been another Pinhead redesign recently, which hasn't been as good. It's just not the same. It's almost like when they remade Thundercats. I mean, that wasn't a Thundercat, was it? To be honest,
I never saw the remake of Thundercats actually.
So for me, I would go and say that Pinhead is number 1.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, is it a yay? Now, bearing in mind, this is for the top ever scariest film or TV character. Darren.
I'm going to say no because I can't comment, can I? Because I've not seen it. So am I going to watch it? Am I going to watch it and go, what is this? Or am I going to watch it and go, you know?
I am also going to say no for number one. I'm sorry, Damien.
Ooh, and you know what I think we need to do? We need to keep a tally of our number ones to see where they come, and ultimately we'll have an ultimate top five down the line. So keep a note of that number one, Ian.
I wouldn't put that. I could if it was a top 10, then it would perhaps be in my top 10, but it wouldn't be my number one. So it's a
so
no,
there you
I'm
go.
afraid.
Those are our top five, and I've got to say, I bloody enjoyed that.
Yeah, we've got, and we can't go back and we can't give honourable mentions and we can't tell you what our number one would be because it is the ultimate top five on the Unnamed podcast.
It's the ultimate.
That's really disappointing. Number one. Right, there you go. That's interesting. Right, Damien. It is time in this episode where your acting prowess is you and Barbara and the little stories. I think last week she had some sort of infection, which seems to be a reoccurring occurrence.
I think it was an infection of tissue, wasn't it?
Or something. Yeah, it was.
Unfortunately,
it wasn't very nice.
She had cystitis last week when we got speaking after the show. So yeah, it was an interesting one. Barbara is our producer. She actually lives in the shed at the bottom of my garden because ultimately it's sad. It's a sad story, really. She got sacked from her job on BBC Radio, and she's been living in my garden ever since.
So can we please have next week's top five from Barbara?
How you doing? Okay, yeah. All right. How many? So how did it go in? Right. But why did they go there? Have you always liked it there? Some people do. I'm just saying, it's not the norm, is it? It's tight. I mean, it is. Right. The Vaseline. Right. I mean, right. No, I mean, go for it. Go for it. Doof. Okay, thank you for that. Right. Okay, let me open the envelope. You all right?
Fine, thank you. That just went out to everyone on Facebook. Don't worry about it.
There we go. Interesting. Can't believe she was talking about that, to be honest.
What was she talking about?
What's that? Sorry.
What? Top five for next week, please, Damien.
Sorry. Yeah. I'll tell you what she was talking about in a minute. I'll let you know. Top five for next week is...
I'll put some drums in after.
You decide.
What?
You decide. It's down to the listeners.
Risky.
Yeah.
Next week is out of our hands. It is just a blank piece of paper on this. And it is literally, you decide. We are opening it up to our listeners, to the people who are watching. And it's down to you. You decide. Next week on the Ultimate Top 5, it's your choice.
If you want to give us a top five to do next week, you have until Friday of this week. If you're actually, how are we going to do this? Because it's out on Friday. Yeah. So anyway, you email us. Start that bit again. Sorry.
You're brave.
Yeah.
You're very brave.
Right. Let's start that again. So yeah, if you want to decide what our top five is for next week, all you have to do is email asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com. asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com. We will close the lines for this on Saturday. So you've only got a day or so if you're listening to the podcast. So if you're after that, you've got a chance to send us the top 5 anyway. If we use your top 5 next week, we will send you an As Yet Unnamed podcast badge, which hopefully they'll be here by then. They are on order at the moment. So email asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com with your suggestion for next week's top 5. Good luck, everybody.
And just to let you know, Barbara, bless her, was on about getting the Vaseline, basically, in the right position. And she's always liked it, to be honest, when she tries on the new plimsolls, because she puts the Vaseline around to make them fit better and fit in the right position. So basically, Barbara this week was on about wearing her plimsolls and getting them in the right position.
And that is it for this week's episode of the As Yet Unnamed podcast. Actually, that's it for Friday's episode of the As Yet Unnamed podcast. We will be back again on Monday morning from 6 a.m. Thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, head over to the website, the asyetUnnamedpodcast.uk. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook. Just search for the As Yet Unnamed podcast. And if you want to be next week's top 5, email asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com. And we will decide, and we will decide what you will decide what our top 5 is, and then we will do that top 5 on next week's show. Damien, thank you very much for listening.
It's been great. It's the first one we've done.
Shall I start that again? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that was really bad. Take 2. It's been a long day. Right. And that's it for this week's episode of the As Yet Unnamed Podcast Ultimate Top 5. Thank you so much for listening. Did you agree with our top 5? I've got a feeling it will be controversial. Email asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com, and you can also use that address to decide what next week's top 5 is. Also, head over to the website, the asyetUnnamedpodcast.uk, and you'll be able to find our top 5s on there. Damien, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a great end to the week, this has. Really enjoying doing this new series on a Friday. It's been great, and it's a controversial top 5. Some of it was yay, some of it was nays. What will be next? I say it every week, but it's all a bit weird out there at the moment. We want to get out of it. Wear your mask, social distance, keep your common sense, stay safe, be kind, remember what you're putting on social media, and be nice to everyone.
Darren, thank you for your... Oh, yeah, thank you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, both of you. Thank you for listening. And all the people on my watch party that have been there as well. Like Damien said, stick to the rules.
And if you want to watch us live recording this, see all the bits that don't make the edits, then you can do. Head over to Facebook or YouTube every Wednesday evening from 8 p.m. and we broadcast the recording live, and you get to see all the bits that didn't make the final show. Don't forget, get your top 5 suggestions in asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com. Email them in. If we pick them and use them, we will send you a brand new limited edition As Yet Unnamed podcast badge. Subject to availability when they get delivered. You have to pay postage. You don't, I'll post them. So thank you very much for listening. Until Monday morning, when we do 3 Men and a Microphone, look after yourself, stay safe, follow the advice. We don't like it. We've just got to do it. If we don't all do it, none of us will have a Christmas. So yeah, just follow the advice. Right, until the next time, thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.
Now, twice a week. Aren't you the lucky ones? You're watching, downloading, and listening to the As Yet Unnamed Podcast.
The TikTok.
There we go.
There we go. Listen, thanks to everyone who stuck with us tonight. There's some people who've been with us from right from the start, and that's a long old slog there to listen to 2 podcasts being recorded. But,
wow, all right then.
Thank you.
It's not a long slog.
I hated it, to be honest.
Don't make it sound like a chore.
Yeah, we're off air now. Can I just be me? You're a bunch of...
Just very quickly, Dunk is saying the email doesn't work. Make sure it's as yet unnamed podcast@gmail.com. Unfortunately, I couldn't have the as yet unnamed podcast because it had already gone. So it's as yet unnamed podcast@gmail.com.
And there's two N's in it. Look, there's two N's in it.
Yes, there is two N's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ASYTUNNAMEDPODCAST@gmail.com. We'll see if it works. Right, so if you do have a suggestion and you are listening and watching on Facebook and YouTube, thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us for the recording. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to those who have sticked around. We've done quite well on the figures today, actually, on the live record, which is always good to see. If you haven't already, download and subscribe to the podcast. It really does help if people actually subscribe to the podcast. So please do that. And it just helps if you can leave a review on Apple and stuff like that as well. All of the information about the top 5 will be on the website later on this week, thatasyetunnamedpodcast.uk. And we will be back again on Wednesday next week for the recording of the podcast. Anything else you two lovely gentlemen want to say before we say goodbye?
Yes, next Wednesday we will be in official winter time.
Yes, the clocks go back, don't they?
So it'll be going dark from midday in the daytime.
Not quite that early. So thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next Wednesday evening from 8 o'clock. Don't forget, you can keep up with all the latest information on Facebook. Go follow us there. We post lots and lots of stuff. And until then, thank you to everybody that's watching, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Keep waving. Keep waving. Keep waving. A little bit more. Little bit more. Bye.
Now, twice a week.